Hey, good evening, everybody. Hey, my name is Rich Sharp, and I'd like to welcome you to our weekly show. We call it Tournament Horse Racing. It's brought to you by Broke Guys Handicapping. Here's how it works. We've broken the horse racing calendar into four separate kind of big tournaments. Each tournament consists of what you're going to see tonight. So tonight we're going to have one tournament. There's four races. We've actually got four handicappers, and we're going to go ahead and each of the handicappers is going to place a mythical $2 win place bet on just one horse. That'll wrap up the betting for this week's tournament. We actually keep track of these for about 10. This is the fourth week of our tournament so far. And the horse player with the highest overall return on investment after 10 weeks is the winner overall of that tournament. So we're actually keeping track out throughout the year. We've actually got a few of these tournaments scheduled. So at the end of the year, we'll have one grand champion, and that's how the tournament's going to work. It's time to introduce you to our horse players. I'm going to go in time zone order tonight. I'm going to start all the way out on the East Coast. And it's with my good friend, Ray Torado. Ray, how are you doing? How things in Staten Island, New York?
Good. How you doing, guys? Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday, right?
Everything's good here. Yeah, we got nice record warm weather today. 69 degrees, the highest
Oh,
ever
nice.
for February 17th. So, but don't expect much of it later for the next few days. So it's gonna go back down.
Fantastic. All right, we'll
Hmm.
come back up to the West Coast. Our next horse player, he's just a little bit to the north of me. He's in Menifee, California. He's also a good friend of mine. Steve Newsom, how are you doing, my friend?
Good, good. How you doing, Rich? I'm just
Uh,
trying to adjust my chair here. But
it's Friday Eve on the eve of a 3-day weekend, so I guess I'm doing okay. I feel all right.
yeah, it's true. That's right. We get Monday off.
Yeah, we do get Monday off. And I certainly hope that's true for the last horse player here, just a little bit to my south in Temecula, California. Joe English, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, Rich. What do you mean? What do you mean you're just doing all right? Didn't the Rams just win the Super Bowl like 4 days ago?
Uh, I, I,
Congrats.
I heard something about that. I did hear there was a wild rumor going around. So thank you very much. Yeah, the Rams did win the Super Bowl. For all of you that were watching, you knew that because I've been bringing it up on the show every single week. So thrilled. As you can see, this is my sweatshirt from there. The Ram gnome up there he's very happy. All the bobblehead dolls, everybody was very happy. So fantastic season. I thought it was a fantastic NFL season. I thought it was capped by a pretty good game as well. The Rams and the Bengals. That was a competitive game, and it came down to that very last drive. So that was a lot of fun. All right, just to give the folks an idea as to how we do it here and things like that, I am going to go ahead and share my screen. And let me go ahead and bring this up. And I'll go over and we are going to show last week what we had going on as far as the Broke Guys tournament. We were covering Tampa Bay Downs. The Sam F. Davis Stakes
Wow.
was among those races that were there. Let me go ahead and get everybody out of the way so we can all see what's going on there. It was not a high scoring day for any of us. I actually blanked for the second week in a
Mm,
row.
yeah,
Uh,
blank.
and congratulations to Steve. Steve actually didn't win a race, didn't get any wins. Actually, nobody did. But he did get two place bets, puts him at $9.80. He takes home the victory in last week's tournament. And if you want to see, here's our summary for the first quarter. As I said, we have completed 3 weeks, and now Steve's name. We got three different guys that won three different tournaments. Ray, the pressure's on, man. All right, and
Mhm.
you can see there, Joe is still our leader. He's actually got about an $8 lead, and then you've got Steve there at 23, and there I am in the caboose here for that first round of our tournament. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and let's move along and take a look at tonight's card. And we are headed down to New Orleans. All right, down to the Fairgrounds Racetrack in New Orleans. We're going to start our pick four tonight with the Mine Shaft Stakes. It's a grade 3. The purse is $250,000 for 4-year-olds and upward, and they're going a mile and a 16th on the main track. And your morning line favorite is in post number 4. It's Olympiad, trained by William Mott and ridden by Junior Alvarado. And he is 3-1 on the Fairgrounds morning line. Steve, you won last week, and that puts you in the catbird seat for the very first race. You're up first.
All right. Well, I'm looking at the 7 mid court, the Florent Giroux on board. Looks like
I'll catch it.
it's
Hang
like
on.
an upgrade at the jockey position there.
Oh,
So
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a solid pick. He's 7-year-old, but still a really good horse. Joe, you're going right after Steve.
Right, I ended up. It's funny. The weeks we've done poorly is the weeks that the favorites all win, and I decided I'm going to start this week with the favorite. I decided, besides the fact that the Olympics are going on now, it really has nothing to do with my pick. But I decided to choose Olympiad because the horse's tactical speed, and they really do, it just by looking through the race is really no confirmed front runner. So I don't expect a real fast pace, but so I expect him to be at least somewhat close. Um, Bill Mott has a 5-year positive ROI at Fairgrounds, and he's only shipped in 16 horses over 5 years. He's got 3 wins. This he'll get a class test here. The last time he ran in the Grade 1 Cigar Mile or any graded race, he finished fourth, but the ride in that race was questionable, at least in my opinion. And honestly, I really don't expect him to go favorite. I kind of think the horse to his outside, Miles D, is going to go favorite because everybody's going to see Mandaloon and Elusive Quality in those PPs, and they're going to say, "Oh well, those are really good horses." And of course everybody knows Chad Brown, so I kind of think that Miles D is probably going to go favorite. So I'm hopeful that Olympiad they probably reverse roles and he goes off at about 7-2 or so. And like I said, I think he's got a tactical advantage, um, and I'm hoping Mott does well down there. So give me the 7 Olympiad. I mean the 4, excuse me, Olympiad.
All right, over to Mr. Toronto. Ray, who do you like in the mine shaft?
I went right next door, and I did go with Miles D for Chad Brown. He had a pretty good, a decent 3-year-old. He ran third in Travers, and the last race he won, so they laid him off, and he's opening his 4-year-old season now. So I think he'll get the distance. He's facing all the horses, and again, got a couple of old timers there, like Midcourt, who've been battling, big likes of maximum security and stuff like that. So I think he's gonna get a good trip. He'll probably be mid-pack. I'm hoping he'll be fresh off the layoff, and he'll be ready to run with Ortiz. So I'm hoping for a good trip. He's 3 out of 6 lifetime for you. He's won half his races, and he's working steadily for this return. So let's see how he does. I'm hoping that Chad Brown has him cranked up to win this race. Rich?
No, I'll put your pick in there,
Yeah.
and I got
Alright.
number 10. I decided to go. I'm back with Todd. Todd Pletcher and Luis Saez, and then a little 29% combination. If I'm going to go off of the horses and let that, the horse is a 4-year-old. And he's a little bit more of the, he's kind of the new shooter, if you like. He doesn't have a whole lot of fancy type down there below. And the one time that he did, when he tried the Bluegrass Stakes last year, did not do very well. Finishes 8th in a 9-horse field, and he's 33 lengths out. I don't care that Essential Quality and Rombauer were in that particular race. He wasn't. But the other 3 races that he's running, including his maiden, where he was favored, and then a couple of races since that Bluegrass Stakes in November and December of 2021, where he won both races, one by 3.5 and the other by 3/4 of a length up at Aqueduct. And again, going with Todd Pletcher and Luis Saez, I've done crazier things than that in my betting, and so I've got the 10 horse here. Bring it up. Service and store. And that's going to take us along to, this is race number 11. This is going 1 mile and 1/8 on the turf. It's the Fairground Stakes. It's a Grade 3. First is $150,000 for 4-year-olds and upward. And your morning line favorite is, I believe he's out there in post number 11. 2 Emmys, trained by Hugh Robertson and ridden by Jimmy Graham, is 3-1 on the Fairgrounds morning line. And Joe, you're going to kick us off on this game.
Sure. Tough race. Went with a horse that two Emmys finished behind last time, and that's the 7 Halo again. 6-1 in the morning line for Steve Asmussen and Joel Rosario. Horse with tactical speed. I'm hopeful that he can use that tactical speed to avoid some of the traffic, being that this is an 11 horse field. He's improved markedly since he moved from the synthetic surface at Woodbine to the turf at Fairgrounds. He did not quit last time. He accounted for himself really well. He fought well along in the Diliberto two starts back as well, and I like the fact that it's second time Joel Rosario. He didn't quite get the job done. Rosario is widely considered the best finisher in the game, and he's the Eclipse Award winner for 2021. So I'll take 7. I'll take 6-1 with the 7 Halo again for those connections. Ray, it's up to you.
Stay right there.
Uh-oh.
Same post. Yeah, for all the reasons you said, I like the 7 Halo again. He ran well last time in the Crown Valley, and it's a tough race. This race, you could probably go 6, 7 deep and still not be comfortable. But he's got a good shot. He's gonna get a good trip. He's should be 40 place. Yeah, I do like Rosario coming back again on him, and Ashwisham does very well down there at the fairgrounds, and it's gonna be he should be close and stay out of trouble. And like you said, he has definitely improved from coming down from Woodbine. So I think they found a home for him on the turf, and he should be improving, heading up to those those higher grade races like this one, grade 3. So he should run well. Hoping he does. So. Steve,
No, it's me.
Rich,
Oh,
up to Rich.
I'm coming up next, and Steve's going to follow me, and I am
Okay.
right next to him in the gate next door. I've got the Chad Brown Jose Ortiz horse here. This is Adamo. This one's from Matakeet Stables and comes straight from overseas. The horse has been racing over in France, as you can see earlier in late 2020 and early 2021. Put together a nice little four race winning streak there. And those are all at significant tracks. Those are all Longchamp and Chantilly and Saint Cloud, and Deauville. So those are all the big tracks that we hear about from over in France. The horse has been transferred over here to Chad Brown. You can see that all of his numbers there in this particular type of condition are all pretty darn good. That's the direction I decided to go. So I've got the 6, Adamo.
all right. I've got the 3 Santine. The Tyler Gaffleone and Brandon Walsh. They win at 17%. And a Godolphin horse. Got second by a neck in his last race, but won the 2 races prior to that.
Yeah.
Great workouts the last two workouts too. So.
That goes to show you how fast I was going, right? There's a Godolphin horse from Brendan Walsh. It's got Taylor Gaffney on board, and I
At
have to be
12 to
honest.
1. So
It's 12 to 1, no less. Yeah,
And his
got Tyler.
grandfather was a game horse for us.
Oh, 49er.
49er.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, my favorites.
All right, let's go ahead and track these up. And we're going to go ahead and move along here to the horse that's named for one of our favorites. Going 1 mile and a 16th on the main surface. This is the Rachel Alexandra Stakes. It's presented by Facing Tipton. Grade 2, purse is $300,000 for filly 3-year-olds only. And your morning line favorite, I believe, is again out in post number 11, Hidden Connection. Trained by Brett Calhoun and ridden by Raylu Gutierrez, is 3-1 on the Fairgrounds morning line. And Ray, I believe you are up first.
Well, another tough race. I mean, you got some of these upcoming 3-year-olds here looking to get some, I guess, Oak points maybe, head out to the Oaks. But it's I settled on the 7. I mean, I did like the number 1, the crit. We had been following that horse.
Yeah, we
She
saw
ran
that
pretty good
one.
last time. But this time I went for the outside, number 7, Turn Loose. Taking a shot. This horse last year ran basically on the turf. Ran pretty well the first few races and a decent third in the Jessamine Stakes at Keeneland. That's always a tough beat over there. Then the Breeders' Cup had the lead, fully placed, and just whatever happened, tired, finished the back of the pack. Something bad happened there, so I guess the train now is gonna try the dirt now. So for her 3-year-old campaign, she's at a Nyquist Derby winner, so she will. I think she'll like the dirt. She's been running nice workouts in the dirt, so I think she's got the talent. Maybe a surface change might do her a little better here. So I'll take the 12-1 on this experiment and hope that it you know comes through for Blackhawks. So turn it loose for me.
All
Who's
right,
next?
I am up next,
Hey, Rich,
and
for
I'm out
you.
here a little bit further away. So, believe it or not, I am looking. I figure the Rams won. Maybe it's a California thing, and so in these last races, I actually also took a Nyquist. Uh, kind of interesting to see how what a I believe his sire fee has gone up from that. So I see it's
Mm,
$55,000 on this particular page, but this is a 3-year-old horse. So I want to. He's been a very successful sire so far, one of the better young ones. That being said, horses. This is the one of the well, if not the top connection, one of the top connections out here on the California racing circuit. You guys know how much I like to take those East Coast turf horses and bring them out west because they just kind of kill us. And I feel almost that same way about West Coast dirt horses moving east. I've brought that a number of times just for the Kentucky Derby and the big races, and that's why you're able to look out here. And this is the one of the 2 California horses that I'm going to take tonight. Awake at Midnight. She is by Nyquist. She won her first horse race, which is a maiden special event, and that's the only one she's won. But the second one is the Jimmy Durante on turf, where she finishes second by a nose, which again I think is why Nyquist is such a successful sire so far. His horses are doing well on both dirt and turf. And then again in the Santa Ynez, gets denied right there at 4.5 to 1. Very nice price at Awake at Midnight. And she did cost $320,000. Again, more leaning towards my West Coast connections here, and just thinking that some of these West Coast dirt horses that are going east are going to strut their stuff. So I'm with Awake at Midnight, and I'm going to hand it off to Steve.
All right. Well, I went with the 4, Dreamlith. It's got Ramon Vasquez aboard. Jockey trainer combinations winning at 22%. That's 9 races.
Mm-hmm.
The horse she won her last race at the same distance. So I kind of like the 6-1 odds, and
And that was a really good race too. The Goldenrod at Churchill Downs, it's a pretty well known race. Was a grade 2.
Yeah.
mm.
All right, Joe. Up to you, right?
It is.
Stay there. Same horse. Diodoro and Vasquez. It's funny. The one thing about the Briss PPs that it shows the last 60 days, which usually gives you a very small window into how they're doing. This jockey trainer combination is 30% over the past 3 years. So, and it's not like it's 30 horses. You're talking hundreds of horses. So this combination obviously does a lot better even than the 22% that are on the page. Steve mentioned the Goldenrod. Got a chance to watch the race. The horses had time to recover since the race. And in that race, there was a horse named Secret Oath who's won 2 races, including the Martha Washington at Oaklawn since. And she, of course, is now a major player, at least at Oaklawn on the trail to the Kentucky Oaks. So I like I said, I went also with the same Dream Lith. I saw, blinkers on last time out, and she looked a lot more focused, and she got the job done that day. So I'm hopeful that maybe somebody who ships in can beat the local horses. So I went with the 4 Dream Lith.
These him. And on we go to the featured race. Race number 13, going a mile and an eighth on the main track. This is the Risen Star Stakes presented by Lamarck Ford. Grade 2, purse is $400,000 for 3-year-olds only. This is the first of the quote-unquote big point Kentucky Derby qualifying races. 50 points goes to the winner. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it is 20 points goes to second, 10 points for third, and 5 points for fourth place here in the Risen Star Stakes. Your morning line favorite is out in post number 8. Smile Happy, trained by Kenneth McPeak and ridden by Corey Lannery, is 7-2 on the Fairgrounds morning line. Look at that. It's me. It's my turn. For people who think I set that up, I actually don't. I usually go last on that first race, and that's just what happens when they make the feature the very last race on the card, and that's what happened here. I already gave this one away, right? In that last race, I told you I kind of went back to my old California roots, thinking about California dirt horses going out east, especially to get into these big point races where they can get into the Kentucky Derby. Speaking of the Kentucky Derby, these are those connections that I just talked about. Redham Racing, trainer is Doug O'Neill, jockey is Mario Gutierrez. Those of you remember I Want Another, then that's the same combination many years later. Another Nyquist, who Joe and Ray can vouch for me on this one of my favorite horses. And this particular horse has had 3 races so far. He's won 2 out of 3, so he came out and won his maiden special event there at Santa Anita back in October, and then came back and won the Los Al Futurity. That is a grade 2. I know there's only 5 horses in the race, but it wasn't Bob Baffert winning the race, and it was, in fact, Slow Down Andy, for those who remember Hot Rod Charlie last year, and that's that same naming sequence that they're using. Anyway, 9-2 on the morning line. This is a really good race and a really good field, and I have a feeling you're probably going to get every bit of that on this particular race because of the presence of some of the other horses that are inside. I actually had my Derby horse Papa Cap is down in the 1 hole, and I was all over him, thinking that this would be a very easy race for me to handicap until I saw the presence of the California connections that I do still have a bias towards. So Nyquist over Gun Runner in this particular case, and again, Joe and Ray, you guys know that's a tough one for me, but I'm going to hand this off, and Steve, you're up.
He can stay right there. Yeah, I'm going with Slow Down Andy also. I would change it, but I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It's so hard to go back and try to freaking re-look at everything again.
And I think that's one of the nice things about the way that we're playing this tournament is, at least here early in the tournament, you don't.
Yeah, it's early. It's early.
Yeah, you really can't handicap, and you don't necessarily have to worry about navigating past the other players just quite yet. You want to try and build your payroll as much as possible. So.
Yeah. So I'm going to Slow Down Andy for all the reasons you said, which were both of mine and then some.
Joe, who do you like in the Risen Star?
Well, I'm going to say one thing. I based on the last 2 weeks when we saw White Abarrio win, and then that was 2 weeks ago, and then last week we saw Classic. What was the horse's name? Classic Causeway win. The 8th going to be lower than 7-2. I'm going to guess somewhere in the 2-1, 9-5 range, based on the fact that he beat both of those horses last time, and that race has proven to be a live race. However, I did not pick this horse. I went, Rich, I went back to Papa Cap down at the rail. The reason I did that is because even though he did not win last time out, he did get a few points, which I guess is helpful. He also got points from the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. So basically, his first start out, I don't know that he was really 100% cranked. He got points. He got earnings. He did everything I guess they wanted him to do, but now he'll be fitter this time. He drew the rail, and I think there's a little bit more speed in this race than there was in the race that he lost to Epicenter and Call Me Midnight last time. The only concern I have about Papa Cap is, it's only because we really don't know how good the rest of these horses are, and we know something about some of the horses he's run against. For me, he has a little hang in him. He should have been able to get by Epicenter last time. Epicenter ran a really fast pace, and Call Me Midnight, who was 25 or 26 to 1 last time out, ended up getting by. So I'm hopeful that he's not a horse who's just going to finish second and third for the rest of his career, because he probably deserves better than that. Again, I'm hoping he's fitter this time. He drew better, and and the thing is, if you win this race, you're probably going to be in the gate regardless of what happens. So my guess is he's going to be a lot tighter. And again, better draw, more speed in the race to set it up for a closing kick. I just think he's going to be better this time. So I went with Papa Cap, and yes, you're going to get 4-1. You'll probably get more than that.
Ray, you're going to get to take us home tonight.
All right, I went with number 8, Small Happy. He's 2 for 2. He won a stake race last time. The way he runs, it looks like he's gonna be able to take advantage of that speed. He's been, usually a horse that runs first time out, going mile 16th, and he won. So I was pretty impressed by that. And he came back to a stake race, and now he's ready to start his 3-year-old career. So he looks like he's got some talent there. I was gonna go with the Papa Cap, but that just says he looks like, yeah, ever since he went to 2 turns, he had that acceleration. But I think with Gaffleone, he'll probably do better now. But I'll stick with Smile Happy. I just like the way he finishes the races. In the stretch, he drew off a few times, and he looks like he could run all day. So the distance shouldn't be a problem with him. So just worry about how much cranked up he'll be. But I'll take that chance. So Smile Happy for me.
Yeah,
I didn't
Joe,
want to change my bet because last week I had that 10 horse and I switched off and he won. So don't do that.
Go ahead and take a look at your numbers there. Just make sure I got everything correct. I think I've got it.
I'm fine.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. And Joe, I read an article earlier this week, and I think it was on Facebook, but it's always one of the Horse Racing Nation ones like that. They were talking about this race, and they said the percentage is like startlingly high, like 95% of horses that win a 50-point race end up in the Kentucky Derby, and of the 5% that don't, almost I think it was only like 1 or 2 that actually somehow missed out on getting into the Derby and things like that. Only the ones that didn't make it were the ones that chose not to enter or got injured.
Got injured, yeah.
Because well, it's funny because what you were talking earlier about when you mentioned, I was hoping we could get through the whole show without mentioning Bob Baffert, but the problem is right now, since he's winning all the races out in the West Coast, the horses are eligible to get points anyway. So those points, so getting in is going to be a lot easier. And plus, again, if you win a 50-point race, you're pretty much guaranteed anyway. Because there's 550s, there's 500s. So I mean, you win either with this round or the next round, you're guaranteed as long as you want to go.
Yeah. All right. Let me go ahead. I'll come on back to you guys.
Let's just hope we don't end up with zeros like we have right now.
Yeah, no, this is I've been
we've been
2 weeks in a blind man in the forest, but hopefully we're back.
Pitching shutouts, man. Baseball.
Folks, I forgot this a little bit earlier, and I'm always supposed to remind myself to say this and things like that. I just want to remind everybody that Joe, Ray, Steve, and myself, we're all handicappers. We're all horse players who love the game. We are not a touting service, and we are most certainly not selling our picks. We do this for fun. We're friends. We're all horse players. We really love the game, and we do this on a weekly basis just to keep in touch with each other. You guys, as I say every week, it is always a pleasure to handicap with you. Hope you guys enjoy
Yes,
your
it
3-day
is.
weekend. Happy President's Day for everybody that's coming up.
Well, Monday I'm happy to
Alright.
be at Aqueduct, so look for me there. I'm going.
Keep my eyes out for you, Ray.
I'll
All right,
probably
everybody.
be at. No, go ahead.
Oh, no, okay, Jeff.
I'm excited.
I guess I'll probably be at Santa Anita on Saturday.
At some point in time this weekend,
Oh,
you're going
nice.
to Santa Anita. Nice. All right.
All right, we're hitting the track again. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. For Ramon Torrado, Steve Newsom, Joe English, my name is Rich Sharp. Thank you for turning in. Our show is called Tournament Horse Racing, and we'll see you all next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I know.
Good night, all.
Good night.